the same way. And sorry, I'm just realizing I didn't hit record. And we have kids kind of close in age and similar stories there and all the things. So I just want to take this moment to remind you guys as you're working in this Shoot for the Moon group to make friends with each other and not be afraid when you're maybe on the world-class lineage from JP's downline, because a lot of those women are the same. And if you go to conference and you go to things, don't be afraid to make friends and find your accountability partners and really embrace yourself in the sisterhood, because for so many of us, I think it's a part that we don't realize we even needed until it happens. You don't even we say it a lot, the sisterhood is amazing, but I think there's so many of us that our story realizes wow, once I got the sisterhood, and I see some of you guys commenting, right? It is. So that's my little thing that I'm going to tell. Besides all the amazing things that she is, I will let her chat. She's going to talk about goal setting. What a perfect time. We're all wanting trips and double promotions and all the things, right? And this group, Gretchen, just so you know, is an elite group. This is a group that wants more from their business in one way, shape, or form.
Great.
And so they've been doing the trainings and they've been working on their connected contacts, and they're really doing the do, as we like to say, right? So
Love that. Well, congratulations, everybody, for being on the elite group. I have a team too, and sometimes getting people to do things is like pulling teeth. So the fact that you're on this call and you're here listening, that already makes you a rock star. So congratulations for being on this call, and all the kudos to Danielle. So I'm going to share my screen. I know I'm talking about some goal setting, so I'm going to share my screen and start the call. I'm going to do a PowerPoint, and hopefully we can get through this. And oh my gosh, I do this every time. Okay, from the beginning. Okay. And I didn't realize I had animation in here. So yeah. Okay. So so a lot of times when I was asked to do this, she was like, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, listen, I pretty much talk about anything, but one of the things that I'm most passionate about is vision. So really, we're going to talk about achieving a vision. You'll hear a lot about SMART goals, and listen, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that you have to start big and then go small. And so we're going to talk about big picture, right? Big picture. And then we're going to go into small. So vision to me, or setting goals and stuff, is vision equals goals, which equals strategy, which equals action, which equals success. Okay, so here's a story. Okay, and I'm going to tell, I'm a big storyteller. So my very first conference, and I actually went and pulled up the bag. This used to be called the Julie Tote. So after Julie Sutton, this is my very first conference, 2008. I will be 15 years in April. I cannot wait. Little did you know, if you didn't know, it actually turns around. I have something in here. Oh my gosh, I have a note. It actually was reversible. So I went to my very first conference. I had joined in 2007, promoted to a director in April. Had a lot of reasons why the following April, 2008. And I went to the conference, and I knew no one. My team didn't come. I only had 4 people. They didn't come. They weren't interested. I winded up meeting somebody from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania. And we drove down together. I didn't even know her. We were literally in the car for 12 hours. And I was all I kept thinking, it was in Chattanooga. I kept thinking, please don't let her be a psycho killer. That's all I kept thinking was I'm in this car with somebody I don't know, staying in a room with somebody I don't know. Please don't let them be a psycho killer. And looking back now, I don't know what possessed me to go, but I went. And when I was there, I met Jenny Hillenberg, who I hope most of you know is the very first consultant, and Amanda Graves, and Michelle Beckett, and Carrie Early, and Martine Williams. And I was okay, cool, whatever. And I go and sit down in my table, kind of like a Danielle story. And I sit next to Jen Cornell and Heather Stapleton and some women Sarah Oates, who are still really good friends of mine. And we just sat there, and I saw Jenny Hillenberg. I walked across as the director. I was the 35th director, by the way. I saw Jenny Hillenberg walk around at conference, and I saw her get her executive director award. And I was like, that's going to be me. right? I'm like, and when I talked to her, she was like, I'm going to get my senior executive director next year. And I was like, okay. So the next year, 2009, she walks across the stage and I was like, that's me. And I'm going to do, and I was at that point, I had promoted to executive director. I actually double promoted in 1 year. And I got to executive director and I was like, I'm going to be a senior executive director. That is my goal. I need this for a whole bunch of reasons. Money, why was not point. I saw myself, and I would wake up every morning and I saw myself walking across the stage. And then the next year, I got my award. And I had, and I'm not doing this to brag, it's because I had a vision. I knew every day what I wanted and what I was going to do. And it was a big picture. So I want to talk to you quickly about vision versus goals. You'll hear a lot about, like, you know, the SMART goals. They have to be, you know, sustainable and measurable and attainable and with some time, and they're fine and everything, but they're not, that's great, but you need to have a big picture first. So vision versus goals. Your vision is where you want to be and what you want to achieve. Your goals offer a roadmap to your vision. If you don't see clearly and envision your end destination, you can't make a roadmap, right? You can't, like, it's just like you're going, I know Danielle was in Texas, right? Like, she knew she had to go to Dallas, right? She started her trip, knew she had to go to Dallas. So she had to figure out all the different ways to get to Dallas. I mean, it was kind of like a plane or a car or a train, whatever, but she knew her end result was Dallas. So when you're doing your goals, you have to have an end map. Your end map is not your goals. Everybody's like, well, I want $1,000. That's not an end map. Why do you want that $1,000? Is it for director? Is it for, you know, a shed? My very first investment was a shed. My husband will tell you he hated the thought of me selling purses. And so when I got my bonus for director, I bought him a shed, and he never blinked another eye. But the whole time he was like, you're never going to make any money, and blah, blah, blah. And don't, you know, he'll tell you, he's like, he thought he'd have a basement full of bags, and instead he has a garage full of toys. So that's what he'll tell you now. But that wasn't always the case. But I had a vision. I knew that I wanted to move up. I knew I wanted to be a senior executive director. I didn't want to stop at director. I wanted to keep going. So, you know, determining your vision. You have to decide what is important in your life. Determine what you want to achieve and separate what is important from what is irrelevant. That I can't say that enough. Separate what is important from what is irrelevant. Seriously, like, a lot of times I knew, right, I wanted to be an SED. And so there were times when people would complain about a customer special or a hostess special. Listen, that's not important for me getting to an SED, right? Or that's not important for you being a director. People are always like, why don't we have the customer special anymore? I'm like, is that important in the realm of everything? No, right? What is important? What is important is you have to have your 4,000, you have to have your 1,000, you have to have your 4 PICAs, you have to continually build your dream, you have to continually build your team. So everything else is just like, yeah, that's there, that's great, but this is what's important, right? So you have to vision yourself. First of all, you have to envision yourself. I envision myself every morning, literally still do this, envision myself walking across that stage as an SED or an NED. I see myself doing it. You'll hear that with marathoners. They see themselves running. You'll hear it with athletes. You'll hear it with successful people. They envision where they want to go. So when you start your quest, you have to think big. Don't think small. Don't think like, I want to be a director. That's a great goal, but that's not what's going to get you to whatever it is you're envisioning. Does that make sense? Okay. So what is your vision? So let's talk about a vision real quick. What is something that you want to accomplish in the next year? Is it promote to director? Is it senior director? Attend the top achievers trip? pay for lessons for sports, dream vacation, Disney World, promote to national executive director. Some of these visions are what you see in the next year. And some of the visions are even bigger. Like, don't stop at director. Don't stop at senior director. Think bigger. Like, I think Danielle said it in the beginning, was like, this is the shoot for the moon group, right? Why do you say that? Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you end up in the stars, right? So think big, you know, attend the top achievers trip. Listen, if you're doing everything else that you're supposed to, that top achievers trip will come naturally. It will. Right? If you are an elite consultant or a consultant and you're saying, I want to get to director, well, you have to do parties. You have to dream build. You have to get PICAs. You have to do. So that all comes along with the top achieving trip. If you want to be an SED, NED, guess what? Chances are you're probably going to organically earn the top achievers trip. You're going to be able to pay for Disney World. You're going to be able to pay for those lessons in sports that your kids love. Right? I know Danielle, she was one of the top in sales. Danielle earned ultra, I don't know, super rock star. I go old school ultra, but she probably did that organically. Like, although that was a goal of hers, right? A goal, her vision was to be one of the top in sales. And so by doing the top in sales and achieving, you know, presidential advisory council, all the other things, the goals, got her to her vision. Okay, does that make sense? It happens organically. Like, I earned a ton of stuff because I had the vision of this. You know what I mean? Everything else was, this is the most important. Everything else is irrelevant, or it will happen organically. Okay. All right. So remember, vision is a clear image of how you see your future. Goals are set as a specific target that move you towards your vision. Right. And I'm probably like either blowing your mind or you're absolutely bored. And either way, I appreciate you hanging on. Okay. So setting goals is turning, I love this quote, and this is by Tony Robbins. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible, right? Your vision is what you see, right? It's not something tangible, right? I mean, it isn't. Like, I could see myself, envision myself getting this award. I knew it, right? But I didn't have it in my hands. But setting the goals along the way to get me there, that was tangible. So here we go. So we're going to talk, what is a goal? So a goal is something within your power to reach and clearly define. A person needs to clearly define their goal and have an active plan to reach that goal. Goals can be set, for example, for feelings, results, skills, knowledge, new job, physical and mental training. So in other words, like, you know, when you're like new job, you're going to be an elite consultant, or you're going to be a director or a senior director. Each one of these levels has some type of responsibility with it, right? If you're an elite consultant, you have people that you want to bring in and you're still bringing them in. The physical and mental job and mental training for some of these, the mental training is maybe you're on this call, doing a goal call, or maybe you're on TOT listening to how to hostess coach, or maybe you're on, you know, TOT and listening how to make a better Facebook party or doing a bingo. Goals help you stay focused and on track to achieve your vision, right? Big picture, right? And then all these little goals are going to happen organically because you're setting this big vision. Is this making sense? Okay, I see Danielle. Okay, so there's short-term goals and long-term goals. Short-term goal is quickly achieved. Book a party, share the dream with a new dream builder, have $1,000 party. They help you to achieve your long-term goals, which in turn help you to achieve your vision, right? Long-term goals can take months or even years. For example, promote 2 leaders, reach team sales of 4,000, promote to the next level, right? Those are your short-term goals because your big vision is to be an SCD or to be an NED or to be on PAC, right? Danielle made PAC. She didn't do that overnight. She didn't do $200,000, almost $200,000 in sales overnight, right? That took years. And it took her probably segmented goals. Okay, I want to do 15 parties this month, 15 parties this month, 15 parties this month. I want to end the year with 200 parties. I'm not sure how many parties Danielle had, but I'm just going to go like maybe 400. But whatever she had, because to have $200,000 on average, you know, for $500 a party, do the math, it's a lot of parties, right? So long term, she had a short-term goal. Okay, I want to book a party for this month. I need to have 10. Long-term, I need to have 300. Okay, but the vision was she wants to make PAC for Presidential Advisory Council. Okay, all right. I don't know who's got. I'm not sure. Somebody's. Thank you. Okay. Oh crap! I missed. Setting goals. Sorry. Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
I think I got them muted. I think I got everybody
Thank you.
muted.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. So the question is, do you believe that you can achieve, right? You need to learn how to dream. You have to have that vision. You have to keep the dream alive and reach your goals. And people with goals can see what they eventually want to achieve and what they can see just how to get there. Okay. So let's talk about goals versus strategy now. So we talked about like vision versus goals, right? Now goals versus strategies. And this is when, and here we go. A goal is a broad primary outcome. I want to book a party, right? A strategy is the approach you take to achieve a goal. So like this is kind of getting into that SMART now, right? This is the, you know, strategic, measurable, I can't even remember the rest of them, attainable, you know, reachable, and I think in a time frame, right? So strategies should answer the question, how do we accomplish our objectives? Strategies define a general approach or method, and whereas tactics describe specific activities, okay? So you have this big vision, then you have a goals within this to achieve that big vision, and now you're like, how do I get my goals, right? Like my goal is, I wanna book a party. Well, how do I accomplish that goal? And so some examples of strategies may include, my short-term goal is to book a party. Well, my strategy is to contact 10 to 15 people and ask how to host a party. My long-term goal, hit $4,000 in team sales so I can be a director. My short-term goal or my strategy would be to have 10 people on my team submit at least one party a month, right? So now what we have is, we have the vision, I want to be an SCD. My goal, I have to get to director first. So how am I going to get to director first? I have to book parties. I have to have the 414. We'll get to that in a few minutes. And then now how do I get that to that goal? Okay. So strategies now versus action. So we have vision, we have goals, we have strategy. Now you have to put it into action, right? So this sounds complicated, but it really is not. Because if you have this big picture, like I said to Danielle or about Danielle, everything happens organically. My big picture is I want to make PAC. Well, to make PAC, I need $200,000. To make $200,000, I'm going to have about $20,000, $18,000 a month. At $18,000 a month, if my party average is $1,000, we're going to go with that, is 18 parties a month. Now my strategy is, how do I get those 18 parties? And now I have to take action to get those 18 parties. Does this make sense? Okay, so strategies are made as a blueprint. The how. Strategy is the mental part of reaching a goal. Action plan is the step-by-step process of how to go about that blueprint. Action plan is the physical part of reaching a goal. It is the actual work. A four-letter word that begins with the letter W. It is work. People ask me all the time, Gretchen, what is the key to your success? And I say, I hate to say it, it's a four-letter word. It's called work. This did not come easy. It was work. I mean, I started 15 years ago. Y'all like have no, like literally TOT was a blog. I mean, a blog, and it was never updated. Like we basically created trainings for ourselves. We were like, okay, who's got some trainings? Like that's what we did. And I knew we needed to get to point B, or I wanted to get to point A. So an action plan is a checklist for the steps or tasks you need to complete in order to achieve the goals and strategies you have set. Set a timeline. When will these actions be completed? This is where the SMART comes in, right? This is the time. They have to be measurable. They have to be, responsive. They have to be attainable. Listen, I don't believe in attainable goals. I'm going to be very honest with you. I do not believe in attainable goals. I think that you shoot for the moon. You have what I call big bag goals. Do y'all know what I'm talking about when I say bag goals? Big ass goals. Okay. You should have big ass goals, because if you're just saying I want $100 a month, okay, you should be okay. But if you're sitting there saying, Gretchen, I want $10,000 a month, and you shoot for that 10,000 and you don't get it, you're still better off than you were before. So your big ass goals, bag goals, your bag vision, I'm going to call it bag vision because, we live in a bag world. That is where you start. And then the action plans and the strategies all come together. But you have to have this down. You have to think, where do I want to be? How do I get there? Okay, so here's an example of an action plan. Okay, so just to give you an idea, this is kind of what I did way back when. I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. So a short-term goal, here's an action. Short-term goal is to book a party, right? Strategy, contact 10 to 15 people to ask to host a party. The action step is to contact 5 people every day for the next 3 days by noon. Time, right? It's actionable. It's easy to do. You're contacting 5 people. I have it in my head. This is what I need to do. And I find a script on time or on Facebook. Don't be spending too much time on Facebook. Y'all, it's a drain sucker, okay? It just, and I can't imagine that Danielle doesn't offer scripts. So y'all have one of the best scripts persons there, like the training on her pages are amazing. Use them, right? Why are you wasting your time trying to find stuff when Danielle's like, here it is, Merry Christmas, like Christmas lights, like those back there, right? Here they are, like use them. Find a script on Todd or contact Danielle. Use them. That's your step. So your action step is to contact 5 people every day for the next 3 days by noon. There is a time there. I have it on my phone. I should show you my phone. Literally has like contact this person, contact this person. Like it is in my phone as a reminder because I'm 50 and like I need glasses, readers now, and I need memory help. Okay, like it's just the way it is. So long-term goal was to hit 4,000 in team sales, right? That's a long-term goal. That's not going to happen if you're not doing it, if you don't have a team. So my strategy was and is to have 10 people on my team submit at least one party. That means I have to train my team members, right? The action step then is I have to train the team members on how to submit a party and host this coach on a certain date. Okay, in order for me to build a team with 4,000, listen, it's 414. To become a director is 414. 4,000 in team sales, 1,000 of your own, which actually counts towards the 4, and 4 PICAs. If you can have 10 people on your team, it's submitting at least one party, and our average is $400, there's your 4,000. You don't even have to worry about making that up because I have people on the team and they're like, I'm ready to promote. And I'm like, girl, you only have 4 PICAs and no one else on your team and you're doing the 4,000. I don't want you there. I want you to have a lot more people. So have it. So think about it. Like I need 10 people to submit one party a month. Like that's where that comes in. So I need to train in order for me to have 10 people submitting a party. They have to understand what a party is. So kind of going, here we go, breaking it down. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. This is a new. So my goal is to promote to director. So we have the 414s, right? Goal is strategy is 4,000, strategy, 10 people on the team submitting at least one party of 400. Action steps. Have 3 new dream builders every month for 6 months. Total of 18 new dream builders, 10 of them submitting a party. Use the home office incentives to share the dream. Right now, we've got 31% off, right? There should be no reason why anyone who's doing this and shooting for the moon does not have a dream builder. And I don't say recruit. I do not like that word. You will never, ever hear that word out of my mouth. I used to be in the service. Recruit is something that is not like enjoyable to me. So I believe that I'm building people's dreams. That's what I believe. So you will never hear the word recruit out of me. So have 3 new dream builders. with the incentive that they have now going on, and if you're shooting for director and you're shooting for the moon or elite consultant, or even to promote more, you need to share the dream. So share the incentive with 5 people every day by noon. Do a beat the box challenge, and I'll tell you what that is. Danielle, you may know what this is. Book 2 parties before the box arrives on your doorstep, and share the benefits of submitting at least 1 party every month. Why would somebody want to submit at least 1 party every month? Well, you get $100 out of it, right? You get if you get to do it as yourself, you get some free product. You get $100. You can buy yourself some jeans. What would you do with an extra $100? Me personally, I like to shoot for the 1,000 and say, what would you do with an extra 250? Did you know that if somebody earning $250 would actually stop them from bankruptcy? So for me, I choose the 1,000, but $100, 10 people at 400 works a lot easier. So this is the beat the box challenge. And, they have to do these 3 things before they get the box. So they sign up, they get a pink box. If they do these 3 things before the box gets there, they get to beat the box. These are action steps to get to the strategy, to get to the goal, to get to the vision, right? And the vision is SED, but you have to be a director first, right? So your goal is to be a director. And then your strategy is, okay, I have to get 10 people on my team and whatever. So the action steps are to get there. Okay, so beat the box. These are the 3 things: book 2 parties, create 2 party links, take a picture of you with the pink box, post it on your face. And then I would give some sort of incentive for completing the 4-fact text. That is what I do for my beat the box. So belief in success. First of all, you got to believe in yourself. The I can't funeral, and I kind of want to talk about this, but I don't want to go into this too long. There was a 5th grade teacher that I don't know where she's from, and I don't have it with me, and I had it printed out and I forget how, but asked all the kids to say something that they can't do. So the 5th graders, and the 5th graders wrote, I can't play basketball well, or I can't write well, or I can't make friends. The cutest things, because they're 5th graders, I can't spell, or I can't make A's. And so the teacher said, put it in a box, and, had them write it out, and then put the slip in the box. And then the teacher went out to the playground, had everybody stand in a row, and then buried the box and said, we're having a funeral for our can'ts. We will never say I can't, we will say I can't. So the very first thing you need to do is say, get rid of the word I can't. I can't book a party. Bam, I want to hear that. Bury that, okay? Write it down and bury it. So write down on a piece of paper everything you can't do. Okay, and then send it to Danielle. Take a picture and send it to Danielle. I'm giving Danielle homework. Write it down, and everything you can't do. I can't book a party. I can't get anybody to join. I can't talk about it. I can't be pushy. I can't, whatever it is that's holding you back, you put that on a piece of paper. And then you send a picture of that paper to Danielle. And then bury it. Flush it down the toilet. Don't go burn in your house, but maybe go out to a fire pit and burn it. And take pictures and send that to Danielle. Because every time you tell yourself you can't, you're right. You can't. And I know you guys have heard this. I'm not preaching anything new. I'm sure you guys are, every time, if you tell yourself you can or you tell yourself you can't, you're right, right? If you tell, I can do this, you're right. I can't do this, you're right. You can't. Next, write a list of things you can do. I can book a party. I can talk to people that I don't know. I can step outside my box. I can accept the word no, right? That's a big one, right? I hear that all the time. Like, I asked everybody, I'm like, okay, how many people did you ask? 5. And you're stopping there? 5 people? Like, okay. I mean, I wish I had $1 for every no I heard in my life in my 15 years. I would not be. Now I'm like, great. Okay, moving on. I know where you stand. I'm moving on to the next person. Write a list of what you can. So this is homework, y'all. I'm Danielle, I'm hoping you follow up. Build a bridge and get over it. You will have challenges, right? I mean, everything. Like, y'all, if you've been with the company for more than a year, we've had challenges for sure. You will have challenges. Get over it, right? Don't go complaining to Danielle. move on. It happens. That's life. There is not a business in the last 2 years that hasn't had some type of challenge. Not one. You're just going to have, listen, I have been said to my daughter, class of 2020, by the way, it is what it is. I don't know how many times. She didn't have graduation. She didn't have prom. She still went to college. She's still getting, she's still getting A's, right? She's still doing the things that she needs to do. She just came back from a semester abroad in London. Like, she could have gotten so upset and so concerned about what she didn't get. But instead, she was like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm moving on. You will have challenges. It is what it is. You accept it. Is that important? Going back to that vision, remember, like, everything else is irrelevant. Is that important? You will have challenges. You will have roadblocks, and you can have excuses or success, but you can't have both. Plain and simple, right? You can't have both. Like, you can say to me, like, and listen, I will say in life, I will often tell my team, as if you can't tell, I don't sugarcoat things. I don't have sugar. I'm not like, oh, sweetheart. No, or like, you're going to hear it like it is. I will say to somebody, is this an excuse or is this a reason? Right? There are reasons in life. There are, cancer and death and COVID right now. Like, those are reasons, but they also can be excuses. So is it an excuse or is it a reason? Which are you giving me? Because if you're giving me a reason, girl, I'll support you 100%. But if you're giving me an excuse, we need to move on, right? Let's go. So success is in the bag. You need perseverance, right? Like, you need to get over it, keep going on the bridge. You need perseverance. It requires the same amount of energy to be successful as it does to be unsuccessful. Okay, like, let me say that again. It requires the same amount of energy to be successful as it does to be unsuccessful. Like, I could sit here and watch Netflix, and that's work. Like, I hate to say it, it's work. I have to take care of the dog. I got to, I eat. That's work, right? Or I could sit here and do a training for you guys and be successful about it. And you can be successful too. 99% of your assets are standing in your own shoes. They're not on TOT. They're not Danielle. 99% of your assets are you. You are your own asset. You are your own person. You are the marketing genius. You are the Facebook. You are you. And that's who people want. I will tell you a story, and it's like a sad story, but when I became an SED, and I couldn't wait to get there, right? I'm from the North. I am a Yankee. Okay, y'all. I don't know how many Yankees are out there, but I'm a Yank. Okay. I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm a Yank. And I'm amongst Southerners. And I love my Southern friends. This is not anything against them, but God bless their heart, right? That's what they start with. Bless her heart. Like, and I'm like, is that a good one or a bad one? I actually have to say that sometimes. Like, is that a good one? I am not like that. And I thought I had to become that. I thought, looking at the other SEDs, I have to be all put together. I got to be pretty. I have to, have my hair done. I have to look a certain way. I have to act a certain way. And the more I thought I had to become them, the more depressed I became. And I'm not lying. Like, this is honest to God's truth here. I became depressed. Here I am at the top of the food chain. Like, I am the 1.001% of the company. And I am sad because I thought I had to be somebody else. And the more I became somebody else, the more I became depressed and angry and mad. And then I became like, people didn't want to be around me and they didn't want to be me. And it was because I wasn't me. I was my own asset. I forgot that what got me there was me being non-sugar and the Yank and not having makeup on and having gray hairs, which is why this band is on. This is who I was. I wasn't like that. And so 99% of your assets are you. Everything else is irrelevant. That 1% that makes you maybe a better business person, that's where you need help. That's the physical and mental goals, right? Those are the strategies, the physical and mental strategies to make you better. Not anyone else better, you better. And by making yourself better, success breeds success. If you're successful, Your team becomes successful. Danielle is successful. I see women on this page and men on this page. I think there's a guy here, I'm not sure, who are successful because their leaders are successful. So 99% of their assets are standing in your shoes. And 80% is showing up, and congratulations, you made the 80%. If you're not working to where you want to be, you're automatically working to where you don't want to be. Right? I mean, these are all cliches, but I can't say them enough. Like, you know, keep your most important values in mind at all time when you're making less important decisions. Most important values in mind at all times. What are your most important values? Mine is integrity, authenticity, and curiosity. Those are my 3 huge values. We have 12 of them. Those are my 3 ones. I will always be authentic. I will always work my business with authentic integrity, and I will always be curious. I will always ask questions, always. If anybody knows me knows I ask a million questions. Those are my values. Those are what makes me me and who I am. And when things come up, does this fall into my values? Is this important? Does this work for my vision? If the answer, and if you have a clear vision and you have clear goals and strategies, you can throw away everything. You know what? That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. Thank you. Right? Don't sacrifice what matters most for something that doesn't matter much to you. There are always trade-offs, always. And there's a little difference between mediocrity and greatness. The boiling point is only 1 degree difference between very warm water and steam and boiling. And then also the racehorse that wins, it's usually only a second. So this is kind of where, you know, at any point, any time, anybody can be great. Any point, just have to work for it. Again, 4-letter word. Okay, so 3 types of people: ones that make things happen, ones that let things happen, and ones that don't know what happened. And trust me, there's been times I'm number 3. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I just got here. So, and which one are you going to be? So your assignment for tonight, Danielle didn't know that. First of all, you have to do your I can't list and your I can list, but define your vision, right? What is your vision? What is your big picture, your bag, your big ass, like big picture? I want to be senior executive director. I want to make $10,000 a month. And trust me, ladies, $10,000 a month is not impossible to make. I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to be able to quit my job. I want to be able to retire my husband, whatever that is. I want to be able to send all my kids to private school and college and pay for it, whatever that is. What is your big vision? Not your little one. What's your big one? All right. Then define your goals and pick a vision and define your goals for there. Okay. I want to do SED by 2025, right? I want to make PAC next year, whatever that is. Define your goals, define a strategy. And Danielle is here to help you. Like, you know, and again, here's your goal. Let's come up with the strategy, and then let's set some action steps. When are you going to do this by? When are your action steps going to happen? So pick one of your goals, because like literally you could be like, oh my God, I want to do this and this and this. And pick one of your goals, pick a strategy, and then come up with this 2 strategies, and then come up with the action steps for those 2 strategies. Okay. So that's it. Feel like I preached, sorry. I guess, yeah.
Don't be sorry. Oh my gosh. In the comments, if you've got questions, raise your hand if you've got questions. I don't know.
Yeah,
about
you
the
can
rest.
ask. You can ask me anything. Anything. Doesn't have to be about goals or success or anything like that. Just anything. You have me, use me.
I think this is going to be my new go-to, ladies. Like, so a lot of you know that I tell you, like, you get 5 minutes to be mad, right? Like, that's my big, like, go-to, right?
Right.
And then I think my second thing is going to be, go watch this video again if you need your reminder. Like, seriously. Thank you, Gretchen. And I'm sure a lot of you, this is like a huge that have listened to me long enough, like what an echo of like everything that I say. And then some, like some of these sayings, but they all, I mean, she just knocks it out of the park. That, like, you know, the reason that I called the group Shoot for the Moon and Land in the Stars, like, this is what I'm talking about, like big ass goals, like she said, right? Like, so many of you are afraid of like your own self, like you're not standing in your shoes, like Gretchen said, and you're literally afraid of your own self. And you hear me all the time say, like, what happens if you don't hit that goal? Like, I don't think anybody's going to die tomorrow. Like, I don't think that it automatically gave your significant other COVID, or like nothing happens. And the idea of like, what is failure, right? Like, what is failure? It's whatever you define it as. And if you're saying that means you failed, honestly, that's on you. Like, stop telling yourself that everything is a failure, and think big, because you limit yourself. Wherever you're thinking, you're going to go probably even lower than that, to be honest. Like, it's pretty rare that even someone like me, like Gretchen said, like, I know that some of you have only joined within the last year, and you just see like, oh, Danielle, she sold 190,000, like Gretchen said, but she's absolutely right. That didn't happen. This isn't my first year, right? Like, that didn't happen overnight. This is my 9th year. That happened in my 8th year. And I'm not saying it couldn't have happened sooner. It wasn't my goal sooner even, right? But it certainly wasn't going to happen in my first year, probably not even my 2nd year, right? That's the big picture goals. And like Gretchen, when I first went to conference, I knew I was going to be on PAC one day. I know I'm going to be an NED one day. Like, those are there. And they haven't happened yet. And I'm okay with that. Like, did I want it 5 years ago? Absolutely. But am I still here trucking away? Am I still improving? Are all the things happening? Yes. So I'll get off my soapbox too. But like, thank you. I'm looking to see if we have any. Do you have a vision? Tammy?
I do. Actually, it's kind of funny. I actually debated bringing it down, so I may walk upstairs and show it to you guys. It's kind of funny. Like, I actually had a vision board when I first started, and I completed everything on my vision board. So I had to create a new one. I literally had to create a new one, because I was like, my vision board is like old. Like, I have that. Like, some of the things on my original vision board was by my husband, like a John Deere. Now he got a Kubota instead. Be able to pay for my daughter's college. And so I actually have a check written out to Penn State University, which she didn't go to, which killed my heart. But, and I actually have, like, I'm paying for her college. Like, I am, like, and it's like, hey mom, my tuition is due. It's $15,000. Okay, Gretchen, okay, Tori, let me just write the check. Like, like, to write a check for $15,000, and it's not eating up any of our other savings, because we saved for so long to do this. Like, I mean, mind blown. Like, I can't say that enough. Like, literally, I just wrote a check out for $15,000. I was like, okay, Tori, because I had saved up, but I wouldn't have been able, like, that was on my vision board, to write a check, and not even like, oh my God, Kevin, where are we going to find this money? And she needs, $300. Like, she went to London and she needed like money. And I was like, okay, no problem. I'll just sell I'll just buy some, sell it to some extra parties. Like, literally, I was like, I'll do some extra parties and throw that money into her. That's unbelievable to me. Like, 10 years ago, if you had told me I would be writing a check, or 15 years ago, I would be writing a check for $15,000 and not crying over it. Like, if you had told me 15 years ago that I would be writing a check for $150 and not crying over it, I probably would have, like, not believed you, right? Like, literally, we were so poor, and I always tell people, people say, how did you know you were successful? And I'm going to tell you this little story. I knew I became a success when I could go down the grocery aisle and the cereal aisle and buy a box of cereal, like, at full price, like a $5 box of cereal, and not complain. Like, I didn't get the bagged cereal, like, nothing's wrong with that. Like, don't get me wrong. But when we were poor, and I say poor, like po, like, Oprah says I was po, I wasn't poor. Like, we would buy like cereal, like, I literally cereal, and I would try to figure out how we were going to make the milk work. Like, to go from that and then to now be able to write a check for $15,000 because we saved it over this time is just unbelievable. And that was on my vision board. So that was on the vision board. There was quite a few other things, and I achieved. I was like, wait, I achieved all these. I need to come up with a new vision board. So yes, and absolutely, I can send this PowerPoint to Danielle. Not a problem.
Very cool.
So yeah, not a big deal. And I'm not trying to brag with the dollars or something, but like, trust me, like, we saved our money. Like, it was like, oh, we could buy a new car, we could buy a used car and put that extra money towards college. Like, that's, like, college was, the last 10 years has been like college. But still, to be able to write that check, like, I have to say, like, there are times that I almost tear up. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm writing a check and I'm not having, like, we have it, like, we've saved that. So yeah. I could go get my vision board. I mean, it's kind of fun stuff on there. It's like, now I want like a double Dutch oven. I want a house, like when we downsize, I want a double oven. Like, I don't know. It's like, I'm like, that's what I want. Like when we're going to downsize eventually, and, I want a double oven, and we want like a lake house. So like we want a small little house and a lake house, sell the big one. And, like in that one house, there's gotta be a double oven somewhere. I don't even know. I don't even like to cook, but I want one. So, I'm going to get one. So is there any other questions? Like, seriously, like, it's not a big deal.
Did everybody love this as much as I did? I see a lot of people shaking their heads. Yes, absolutely. And such good timing, such good timing with, you're getting hearts, you're getting all the things, you're getting nodding heads. I can see them. Such good timing with the beginning of the year, the double promotion bonus, the trips. Some of you, almost all of you, I think on here, pretty much most of you, we're going to wrap up week 6, 7, and 8 from the last training, and we're going to get going again.
I need to be a part of this training. Like, I want this training.
I will put you in it. I'll give you my
I could use it for my own team. All right. Who's going to come and train my team? Like, see, like,
Absolutely.
I want to know. What, so like, 5 minutes before we go, because it's 8:55. That took a little longer. But does anybody have anything else they want to? It could be anything, like anything. I know you have Danielle here. Doesn't have to be about goals. Doesn't have to be setting. Could be money, bonuses. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, Danielle makes probably more money than I do at this point, but
no. But there's such a difference in the two of those too. Like knowing that Gretchen makes hers from getting to that SED spot that she longed for, right? Like, I want you guys to understand, like, there's such a huge difference. Like, yes, I made a lot of money this last year, like off of myself, right? Getting that 35% off of 190,000, like, yeah, that alone is a pretty penny. But, that's where my goal shifted again. Like, okay, I don't want it to just be off of me, right? Like, that's a whole different thing. And back to some of the things that she was saying too, like how when you're reaching for those goals, so many other things are going to fall into place. Like, I can't tell you enough. Like, I got packed for 2 things, and packed for Pika's was on my radar, but not completely. But I can 100% tell you it's because I was partying so much that it just happened. Like, when you're selling that much, people are going to join you. They're going to be interested. So, now I flipped it. I want to make that same amount I was making off of myself, for lack of a way of better of putting it, but just being honest, like off of you guys, right? Like off of you guys becoming, like, that's the beauty of this business, is it's such a win-win for all of us. Like, me helping you helps me, and vice versa. You helping your new girls helps you. Like, that's the amazing part of it too, right? And I know we're always preaching like making it about her, and it is, but it's a beautiful thing when we can work together on that. Like, all of my directors know, like, when they wanted to hit director, and Tammy, I think, is on here, Tammy Brinker, who's so close to becoming a director, right? Yes. And there's such a love, give and take. Like, she knew I was trying to get Rome. I knew she was trying to become director. Both of us in the end are like, it's in God's hands, right? Like, what's really going to happen? But we both, I mean, I can promise you, right? Like, just kept going back and forth, helping. And I see Tracy nodding her head, like, and when bonuses are on the line, and the girls are, once you become a director, and you're trying to get your bonuses. So just keep that in mind, like, as you're recruiting and as you're thinking about things too. Like, it is always about her, right? Like, I pride myself and do my best, but at the same time, back to Gretchen's, like, authentic. You guys know me, that's one of my big ones too. Like, be authentic. People also like to help people, and if you're helping them, they want to help you. And I think Tammy quickly found that out too. Like, I went live in her customer group and told everybody, like, she's trying to be a director. We got new recruits, we got parties, like, we got all the things, just because they were like, wow, I don't know exactly what that means, but like, I want it for her, right? Like, I explained how awesome she was and that sort of thing. So just another little soapbox, but just keep that in mind. Like, be authentic, be you, and make it about her. And I promise it's going to happen. You're going to build those relationships, and all the things are going to happen. So I think we do have a few people joining us too. We're doing our gather meeting right after this, Gretchen. So
okay.
And you're good. Yeah. I was supposed to do it last week, and I was in Texas already, and it just couldn't happen. So we're kind of we're kind of piggybacking our gather meeting to this. So there are
Nice.
a couple people joining us. And do we know, I'm